Alright, how's everybody doing? Sorry I wasn't able to be here today. I had some stuff come up. But on the problem of the day, first off, we can kind of talk about that real quick. On the problem of the day, guys, what you should have noted, what you should have figured out right away, there's no way that you can have a MAD or a IQR, so no IQR, no MAD, that is greater than the range. The range is the furthest distance because you're taking the biggest number all the way down here, and you're subtracting away from the smallest number all the way down here. This is all of your data, and the IQR and the MAD have to be within that, just like for mean and median. They have to be within the biggest and smallest number. Same thing goes for IQR and MAD, so that's why that was false. But if we go back here, what we're going to go through today, first off, you guys will get this orange sheet for your notes. We're going to go through that notes page. Hopefully that'll help. You guys can keep those. Those are for you. And then we're going to go through, and I'm going to talk about how we can make solving for the interquartile range and MAD a whole lot easier. So to get started, these measures of center, if you flip to that side first of all, we have mean. For mean, guys, it's pretty simple. You could just put the average. Put the average. That's all that you're doing there. There's an example down here. If you want to put it off to the side, just say you're adding up all of the numbers and dividing by how many you added. Okay, for median, it is the middle number. So all you need there is the middle. And for mode, remember mode, M-O, most. Most seen number. There you go. So that is your first side. You can fill those in again. Down below is just an example so that you can use that to help you. Other things on that front side as well, it tells you that measures that go together. So the median and the IQR, those two go together. The center, the measure of center is the median. The measure of variation is the interquartile range. Those two go together always. Same thing goes with mean for your center and MAD for your interquartile range. So if we just look at the range, we flip to the back side. The range is just the biggest number minus the smallest number. Biggest number minus smallest number. All you're doing there is subtracting. So the interquartile range, you could say, is the middle 50% of your data. The middle 50% of your data. So what you're actually doing, so our data is right here. Main things, you have to rewrite it least to greatest. That's what I did on this step here. Rewrite it least to greatest. So 3, 4, 4, 8, 9, 12. Then you got to find the median. So the median is the middle number. Our middle number in this case, in between 4 and 8, would be 6. Then you've got to find the lower quartile. So to do that, you cover up, you ignore the median, and then you just cross off your numbers. So the 3 would cross, the 4 would cross, and you're left with 4. Same thing on the right side for quartile 3. 8 would cross, 12 would cross, 9 is what you're left with. So we get our quartiles. Quartile 3 is 9, quartile 1 is 4, and you subtract them. You're finding the range. That's what the R is, the interquartile range. So the middle 50% of your data is about 5 units away from the biggest value to the smallest value, is what that means. Okay, and your last one is MAD. So MAD, again, mean absolute deviation. If you want to write it off to the side, you can, guys. Basically, all it is the average change from the mean. Or the average, instead of change, you could say the average distance from the mean is fine. Okay, main thing there, you first have to find the mean. So to find the mean, you add them all up and divide. So 6.6 is what I got. Then you take 6.6, put your data there, and you subtract. All you're doing is subtracting these values. Okay, once you subtract them, you get all these values. Some of them are negatives. That's where the absolute comes into play. So the absolutes cancel. You're just left with these. And to find the MAD, all you're doing is you're finding the average of those numbers. So the 2.6, all of that you got when you subtracted, that is what you're finding the average of. And your MAD in this case is 3. So just about every number is about 3 units away from the mean, is what that means. Okay, so use that notes card to help you. You guys can keep that. We might be able to use that on quiz or notes or quiz or test when that comes around. But moving on from that, so you guys can put those to the side. Moving on from that, what I want you guys to do is get your Chromebooks out. And what you're going to do, if you go to Google Classroom, what you guys should see is this show up. It says 8.2 measures of variance. What you guys need to click on first, not the homework, click on the stats helper is what you guys need to click on. Okay, so if you need to, pause this video. Everybody get logged on to your Chromebooks. Get this pulled up. It should look exactly like this. And then we'll be able to move on. And I'm going to pull up one as well so it looks exactly the same. So if you guys remember from yesterday, the problem that we went through together looked like this one. We went through and had the exact same values. It was the test scores. What I'm going to show you guys is the easier way of doing it. Instead of calculating it by hand, guys, you can calculate it just with formulas on Excel, on a spreadsheet. So to do that, to start any formula, especially if you go back here, if you look, all of them have to start with an equal sign. So if you guys look down at the bottom, this says example, this is formulas. This has all of the formulas that we would need. Okay, so what you're going to do, if I can go back to mine, what you're going to do for range, there's no way, you can't just type in range. It doesn't show up. And as you guys see, you see how things start popping up there as I start typing. Okay, those are formulas that would work. What we have to do then, we're taking the maximum number to find the range. You type in max, put a parentheses, and then it says value 1. To find your values, all you do is come over here to the 39, and then you click on it and drag it down, and it highlights all of that range. That now is finding the max number of all of that range, and it even shows it right there, 56. Then you're going to subtract that away from the minimum number. So put in MIN for minimum, put the parentheses, and then highlight all of that data again. Now it says 20. Now just hit enter, and it does that work for you. It subtracts for you, so you don't have to worry about that. For your quartiles, same thing. Start with equals. Type in the word quartile, and you'll see it'll pop up right away. Parenthesis, and it says to highlight the data first. So we're going to do that. Then we hit comma. That's where you have to hit comma. Now what we're trying to find here is the lower quartile or quartile 1, so you put in the number 1. Hit enter, and there it is. Same thing for upper, except you're going to change it to a 3 instead of a 1. Highlight, comma, hit 3, enter. There's your quartile. Then to find interquartile range, equals, click on upper quartile, quartile 3, and then subtract quartile 1. Get 9. Last one is MAD. To find MAD, first off, you have to find the mean. So to find mean, it's the same as finding the average. So you hit equals, type in average, again, highlight your data, hit enter. So our average is 44.4. Now what we need to do, I'm just going to do it off to the side, we need to take the average and we need to subtract it away from 39. So you do that, there's your answer. The cool thing is you can drag this down. However, when I do that, it's not correct. The reason it's not correct, if you guys look here when I click on it, this changes, but also the orange one drops down. What you want is that orange, you want that to be the exact same value. So what you have to do is you come back up here, okay? Come back up here on this one where you're typing in the formula. If you double click, you'll be able to see the formula here. What you need to do is put a $ in front of the I and a $sign in front of the 3. What that does is it locks it into place. So now when I hit enter, it still says 5.4, and now as I drag it down, you guys will see it's still at that 44.4, but now I'm at 36. And I can just drag this all the way to the end of my data, to the 45, and there's my information. Now the last step, it's mean absolute deviation. So to find the absolute value, you go to the front of your formula, right, in between the equal sign and that $sign, and you put ABS. That's absolute, and then you hit parentheses. Now it's finding the absolute value of that information. So you hit enter, number's the same. Again, you gotta click on the blue box in the bottom right corner and drag it down to the end of your data, and there it should show all of them just without the negative signs. Now your last step, you have to find the average of those numbers. So you hit equals over here under MAD, you type in AV average, right? Type it in, and then you just got to highlight your data. So you go start from the 5.4. We're not including the mean. The mean is not included. Just the 5.4 going straight down to 0.6. You hit enter, and 4.84. So as you can see, this is a lot faster. The computer does the hard math for you. You just have to know the formulas to enter. So when you go back here and you look at it, your formulas are all right here. So if you're finding the mean, you can use this formula, guys. You can double click, you can copy it. Main things, you have to start with an equals sign. Equals and then average, then it will work. Okay, so use those to help you. It's the same for mean, median, mode. The range is there, interquartile range is there. MAD, it describes what to do. This is a nice little thing we might get to at some point. You won't need it today, but it's called the count if. Basically, when we did the survey with the ice cream, I used the count if function to find how many times people chose chocolate, how many times people chose strawberry. So if you're looking for a specific category, the count if is what you're going to use there. So hopefully this example helped you guys see how to solve these. And what you're going to do next is when you go back to Google Classroom, you'll see that this one is for homework. So if you go to 8.2 variations homework, it looks like this. So you are going to find the range, lower quartile, upper quartile, interquartile range, and MAD of the data, just like we did yesterday. You're just using Excel now. If you look down here in the bottom, though, there are 5 different sheets attached to this. Those are your 5 homework problems. So you're going to go through, find the range, lower quartile, upper quartile, IQR, and MAD of each set of data. And then your last step down here, would it be better to use IQR or MAD to represent this data? What you're going to do there is you're going to go through and type up whether or not you think the MAD is a better representation of the data or interquartile range. Please be specific and explain your answer in this one. It is not going to be, I choose IQR because it is better. You need to explain your reasoning as to why and explain what each of them represent. Okay, take your time, take your time. If we have questions on this, don't worry, we will go through tomorrow. I'm hoping that you guys will get it pretty straightforward, but if not, then we'll go through it tomorrow. If you need, or if it's really confusing, you guys are stuck still, you can send me an email, come see me in the morning, but we will work through it. Don't worry, don't stress about it. If you can get through it, awesome. If not, then we will talk about it and you'll be able to get it done at another time. And that is all you will have for homework. Once you're done with that homework, what I want you to do is play Prodigy, work on other homework, or read a book. Those are your 3 options. You don't get any other options. Those are your only 3 options. You're reading a book, you're playing Prodigy, or you are working on other homework. Besides that, have a great day.